Blessed is the man that walks not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful, nor standeth amongst the wicked. But his or her delight is in the Torah of Yahuwah. And in this Torah, they meditate day and night. They'll be like a tree, or they'll be like a tree planted by rivers of water. And they shall bear fruit. In other words, y'all going to bless them. In their season, their leaf, their strength, resilience, dedication, shall not wither. In everything that they do, Yahuwah will bless it. But the wicked are like grass burning in the heat. And everything that they do is going to be consequential and cursed. But the righteous, they will shine, they will endure, and more than anything else, they will receive all the promises of Yahuwah. So brothers and sisters, I come to y'all today, hallelujah. Just as first of all, remind you to not study tonight. But beyond that, it's just to remind each and every one of my brothers and sisters that do not allow the noise, the rhetoric that's going on around you to mislead you, deceive you, discourage you, or cause you to quit. Because as we get closer to Yahuwah's return, his judging this earth, a lot of danger is going to come our way. Yahuwah is revealing a lot of the fallen, not only fallen aborigines, the demons who were locked up, as Daniel said, until the time of the end, but now they have the fallen amongst Israel, our people, who are just as dangerous as any demon that Yahuwah locked up, down up under the earth. I mean, these Israelites that I'm talking about, brothers and sisters, will come at you with every kind of charm, every kind of spell casting. And spell casting, just to help you out. Spell casting is somebody who will come and just tell you lies, just because they can. So when someone comes up to you lying, you need to tell them lies. I'm talking about making promises or making insinuations or pretending to be something, you know what I'm saying, when there's no evidence of that in their lives. Then remember that these are what sorcerers do. These are the sorcerers that the book in Deuteronomy warns us about. I mean, the book talks all through, I was talking about Torah Tanakh, all through the Torah talks about sorcerers and divinators, the idolaters, the vile, the abominable. Hell, Nahum called them the fruit. I'm sorry. Nahum called them the filth. Filth, like something nasty, filthy. Sometimes when we're looking at one another, it's hard to distinguish who's actually doing with this, who's actually obeying Yah's Torah versus, who are out there pretending to obey it. And the pretenders far outnumber those of us who are truly, committed and dedicated. I mean, like the Psalm said, we'd be like trees planted by water. Because it takes, a solid grounding, a strong faith. And that faith is to really be called the righteous remnant. Let me say it that way. It takes a strong standing and a grounded faith. In other words, that Torah has to be a lifeline, for lack of a better word. It has to be what you live for, what you strive for, that the very essence of life. And there are a lot of people, brothers and sisters, who are sorcerers, among Israel. First Maccabees speaks about them. Maccabees said that the wicked Israelites from among the people were telling us to put our trust in men, put our trust in the system of men. In other words, trust the governments, wherever you might be on this flat earth. And he warned the people not to do it. And, you know, some of us, like Judah Maccabees, we, you know, and his family and those loyal Israelites who understood it's not just about, you know, hearing the instruction, but actually, you know, doing as instructed. So in the situation as it relates to the Maccabees, most of the people chose to go against, you know, Judah Maccabees and the righteous who were part of, you know, that society. You know, they rebelled, they fought against him, they pretty much ran into the churches and got hold to altars and talking about Baal worshipers, Jesus worshipers, Yahuah'S, whatever. And I mean, they just like, I ain't letting go. Oh, no, it's Jesus for me, and no matter what you say. And I love that story, the way the story is written. It's true, not a story. I love how, you know, Judah Maccabees took out his sword and he killed that devil, Israelite devil. Because they were sorcerers, you know what I'm saying? They were caught up in religion. You see, the thing about religion, it only requires you to do the ritual. If you do the ritual, you're good. You know, you go to church, you take communion, you get baptized, whatever the hell that's supposed to mean. You dying, but you ain't dead. You drowned, but you didn't drown. You know, and then support the church. Support pastor. Make sure he got everything he needs. And then you will die. And when you die, the same Jesus who couldn't save himself, nor any of the prophets or so-called disciples, let's call them what they were, at least what they say they were, they couldn't save themselves either. Not only did he die and get slaughtered, do you realize that everybody who followed their Jesus was also slaughtered? But yet they want to tell us Jesus saves. They want to tell you Jesus saves. Interesting. They were all martyred according to their own book. So Judah Maccabees and the rest of the Maccabees who were righteous Maccabees said, no, hell with that. I'm going to this Torah. I'm going to stand by this Torah. Because what they realized that everyone who called out on Yahuwah, according to that Torah, Abraham, Daniel, Moses, King David. Remember when Gad told David to leave? Don't stay. Saul is coming. The so-called Hebrew boys. You know, Noah, Enoch, everyone that called out on Yahuwah, interestingly enough, Yahuwah saved them. But everyone who accepted the king's religions, they died. And yet you have the Torah telling us that from Moses, Deuteronomy 30 and 19, what did Moses say? Yahuwah said, I put before you life and death. Therefore choose life. He didn't say choose death or life, make a decision either one to do. He said, no, choose life. But what did that filthy religion, Christianity, or that New Testament tell everybody? No, die. Those who give their life up, they will get more in the kingdom to come. Those who lose husbands and wives and children. This and that. In the kingdom that'll come, you're going to get it. And how are you going to lose it? By standing up and giving it all away. Trusting in the heathen's God, who doesn't save, never has saved. Now see, some of you would probably want to attack what I just said. And you will. But see, if you were just thinking cognitively, something means using this thing you call a brain, you would have to step back and say that not our ancestors, through the period of slavery, some colonization, were they not crying out for Jesus? Our people who were lynched unjustly because someone lied on them, they were told to be like Jesus, be a martyr, die for the cause. But you ask them, what cause am I dying for? Why would Elohim say to you, Yahuwah says to you, choose life, but at the same time tell you to die is a good choice? He said, I put before you death and life, choose life. He gave us the answer to the test. And many of our people failed the test because they were trusting in the heathen's God, or many of our people, they waited too long before they made a decision. And then they were put in circumstances or situation where it didn't matter anymore whether they chose or didn't chose. The situation they put themselves in chose them. And Yahuwah didn't come and rescue them. He didn't rescue the mother and her 7 sons in 2 Maccabees chapter 7, or the old man in 2 Maccabees chapter 6, or some of the same people in 4 Maccabees chapter 10. Because the question some of us are not asking, what happened to them? Because Judah Maccabees and his sons, you read 1 Maccabees chapter 2, they all left. They escaped the hands, of the tyrants, the hands of the king, the hands of the wicked Israelites, the clergy. They escaped. And not only did they escape, they made a commitment, said that if these heathens come and try to bother us, or even on Shabbat, we're going to give them that smoke, that heat. Y'all know what I'm talking about? Like, yeah, bring your little, come on over here with that fire. Let's see what's going to happen to y'all. You said some of our brethren who are foolish enough to get caught up in that religious ideology, well, if something happens on Shabbat, I guess it's just going to be, like he said, pray that, that the Lord don't return on the Shabbat, because it's going to be worse. New Testament dogma. So they let themselves get slaughtered. Men who was to protect women and children let their family. I think that's 2 Maccabees, you can read. 1 Maccabees chapter 2. The story is there. They let all of their people get slaughtered. So-called Torah-keeping, righteous, 1/3 Torah-keeping Israelites. You see, Solomon told us, this is why teaching is so important, brothers and sisters. And this is why the Torah tells us there's a way, it's in Proverbs, which is a part of the Torah, let me call it. Because if you read Proverbs chapter 1, the guy who wrote Proverbs, Solomon, said he learned the Torah. So that means when he was, recording his Proverbs, it was all Torah, related. It were lessons that I get from the Torah, is what he's saying. He talks about that in Proverbs chapter 4. Wisdom is the principal thing. Wisdom comes through Yahuwah. Yahuwah comes through what? His word. His word is his Torah. He said wisdom is the principal thing, but you can have a whole bunch of wisdom, perceived wisdom. You might know about world. You might know about a trade. You might know a particular profession. But if he said, wisdom is the principal thing, but you need to get some understanding to go with that wisdom. He's saying wisdom without the proper application of what you think you know can get you destroyed. Again, there's a way that seems right to a man. The end thereof is what, brothers and sisters? We're told that it's the ways of our own self-destruction. And that way is trusting in, the system of men, trusting in the government, trusting in their religion, trusting in yourself without a true foundation of what for which you stand, without a solid foundation. You know, everybody's got their truths. How that saying goes, there's, you know, his opinion, her opinion, and then there's the truth. His side of the story, her side of the story, and then the truth. So it's not about the story that you believe, it's about the truth that you understand. That's why you say, with all you're getting, get an understanding. But you see, when we fall into self-idolatry, then all of a sudden we began to rationalize everything. Well, I don't agree with this. I agree with that. I don't have to do this, but I have to do that. Who made you over us? Who put you in charge at DFG? You know, that's the same thing they told Moses, so nothing new there. Who made you the ruler of everybody, Moses? We've been around as long as you've been around. Heard that a time or two. So you're basing things on how long you've been around versus are you being obedient? Are you going through, like David said, meditating on that Torah day and night? You just heard me mention it. I hope I didn't skip that. I might have skipped that part. I don't think I did. Meditating on the Torah day and night. You'd be treated like a tree planted. You know, I wouldn't have missed that. Because that's where your understanding is going to come from. That the truth lies in your study. The truth lies in what you do with that study. The truth lies in the fruit that's produced from what you do from that study. Otherwise, you're putting money in bags with holes in it. Knowledge, again, without wisdom is vain too. So it works both ways. See, this Torah is really the answer to every problem that we have, brothers and sisters. That's why the people shun it. That's why the people hate it. That's why the people tell us it's done away with. That's why the people went to Jesus. Because it wasn't about whether they could keep the Torah or not. No, there was a desire upon our people then, like it's a desire on our people right now. They did not want to hear the word of Yahuwah. They did not want the disciplines. They did not want, you know, what we call the accountability. I mean, they wanted to live like heathens live. They look at the heathen, they're having fun, they're having a good time. They're getting drunk, they're getting high. They're selling their asses. A boy for a whore, a girl for a bottle of wine. Let's go get drunk. Like what did Beyonce tell her daughters of Zion? Told everybody, let's go get drunk. Take drugs. And she said, F-U-C-K things up. And she celebrated. A lot of you who are listening to me, you're Beyonce fans. You're still listening to her. But you're over here saying you love Yahuwah. And she's pronounced herself to be a witch in every kind of way you could think of it. But she's not alone. Your pastor, he's a witch. Your bishop, he's a witch. Your apostles, all them niggas witches. White, black, yellow, brown niggas. So don't get caught up in racism. If you think a nigga has to be, you know, an Israelite. Calling them a nigga is a shiftless, no good, scoundrel, rascal, mugger, rapist, and murderer. In the way Trump described them the other day. Now you tell me that don't fit the so-called yellow man, the so-called red man, the so-called white man, so-called brown man, and the so-called black man. So they got a bunch of niggas. Men and women. And they're niggas because they turn their back on Yahuwah and they trust in the heathens and the system that the heathens have given them. They trust in their resources. They trust in their ideology. They trust in their science. We saw that with COVID. They trust in their mathematics while they follow the heathens' calendars. You know, new moon, red moon, festival day, feast day. Yet the book clearly says, y'all say, I don't care nothing about that. And a lot of Israel, some of you, running to the next festival, waiting for the next, what's the Feast of Tabernacle? When the Feast of Trumpets coming? When is Pentecost? When is the Feast of Pentecost? Yet, Amos says it pretty clearly. Y'all say, he says, I despise your feast days. And he was talking about the feast days that Israel was keeping. He was talking about the heathen days. That's another, story all within itself. No, he's talking about Israel, who they'll run to a feast, they'll run to a celebration, but when it comes down to repenting and being contrite, being obedient, following the commandments, following authority, following leadership that follows Yahuwah, nah, nope. As I said it in the previous message, they don't trust no man. But let them food stamps get cut off. I bet they burn their ass down there to the, to the Department of Welfare. Let that Medicaid get cut off. I bet they'd be running down there again to the Social Security Department, but they don't trust no man. Let that Social Security get cut off. Let any of the public services that they get cut off. Trash collection, highway improvement, street improvement, neighborhood improvement, whatever. You'll find out real fast that these people honor Yahuwah with their mouth, but their hearts, that part, far away from Yahuwah. The worst thing that a 2/3 Israelite can hear is the truth. They don't want to hear the truth. That's why you'll see them running over there to Geno Jennings, Charles Dow, Master's Voice, Potter's House, New Birth, World Changers. Y'all know some of the places. You've heard the names, the religions, the big time, Tony Evans. I heard he's back preaching, but he never told anybody why he stepped down, but now he's back. I guess he did his own form of contrition, right? Some secret contrition. But that's what wizards and demons, they're allowed to do. Jake's not. Where's Jake's, brothers and sisters? Everything's quiet. Huh? We know about Diddy. But where's Jake's? So the wicked system protected Jake's but didn't protect Diddy. Yet they both were in the same bedrooms. You see why I say religion and these leaders are nothing but demons? All, how you say, same tits on the same female pig. Your government, your financial institution, your education institution, religion, and your military are all conspiring against Yahuwah and Yahuwah's Torah. You notice I didn't say Yahuwah's people. Because they're not conspiring against some of Israel, because Israel works for them. Many Israel take their sides. Many Israelites will run into church every Sunday, every Saturday, giving gifts and offering and alms and tithes, and never open their mouth about it, never say a word. Because they're not being held accountable. There's no accountability there. It's come as you are. The devil hates the sin, but he loves the sinners. You know how it goes? The devil hates sin, but he loves the sinners. But when the truth is coming out, all of a sudden everybody broke. No, we're not contributing to you, to you if you're going to tell the truth, elder. That's their mentality. Not everybody, of course, but most of them. Most of you listening to this, that's you. But that's on you, because you're missing out on what Yah has for you. He said clearly. Go read Sirach chapter 12, verse 1. Read through verse 7. Go read to Tobit, chapter 4, starting at verse 6, verse 11. And there are many other places, and they're saying the same thing. The answer to why many of our people are suffering has nothing to do with so-called cursed. No, it's because of your behavior. They walk in contradiction to Yahuah's word. In other words, again, they're against the Torah. You know, Israel wants to play the victim more times than not. Most of Israelites want to play the victim card. Oh no, you don't understand. But you trust in Yahuah, but I'm supposed to understand your complaining. You trust in Yahuah, and I'm supposed to understand, why you won't, why you can't, why you don't. But you trust in Yahuah. So can you kind of break that down, what that trust looks like then? Because that book says no weapon formed against us is going to prosper. And yet you talking about your situation being so dire, so bleak, you so broke, you so busted, you so damn poor, then who are you serving? You so discouraged, you know what I'm saying? You so sad, you so depressed. You're so alone, you're so isolated, you're running all over this flat earth, as they were saying, looking for love in all the wrong places, looking for safety, like Yahuah is not going to judge this whole earth. It does not say his wrath is going to be in one place. So the wrath of Yahuah, the judgment of Yahuah is going to be everywhere. You can't tell? Of course you can't tell, because you're not even thinking about it, many of you. And those of you out there who are thinking about it, I'm talking about the wicked, not the righteous. I'm talking about the wicked. Now, if you're getting offended, then I'm talking about your ass. Otherwise, you shouldn't be offended. But you got the wicked running all over the place talking about, oh, woe is me, and who this and who that. It's Jacob's trouble, and Rachel's weeping. Or when they come over here and said, trust in Yahuah with all your heart. Lean not to your own understandings, in all your ways acknowledge him. And he'll bless you. That's what directing your path means. You don't have much to say about that. Trusting in Yahuah with all your heart, all your mind, and all your strength. What does that mean? It definitely don't mean hold back. I guarantee you that. When you start holding back, that means you have a lack of trust. What you holding back for? But again, you're offended some. Because they don't want the truth. Again, just like with Moshe, in the wilderness. I was talking about this the other day in a conversation. I was talking about when Yahuah has told Moses, go tell the people it's time to leave. Now they have been moaning and groaning about their bondage. Moaning and groaning and weeping. The trouble. Nobody knows the trouble I see. Nobody knows my sorrows. Shit, everybody knows you telling them. That's one thing you don't keep secret. So they were moaning and complaining, wanting to get out of Egypt. And here it is, Yahuah sent Moses. He said, when Moses, you go tell that wicked system, that wicked king, and all of his council, his financial institutions, so those who run that, they were making money off them slaves. Still called the, the prison complex, prison industry. Still making money off them slaves. He said, you go tell them all. The religious, the wizards, the sorcerers, the seers. That's his clergy. His military men, his educators. That's the one who told Pharaoh, said, go get my books. Let me see if there's anything about Yahuwah in my books. All of these folk, as it was then, so it is now. Nothing new under the sun. So here's Moses being sent to these people who are complaining. It's okay. It's time to go. Time to pack up. Take only what you can carry. And let's hit the road. You know what them wicked Israelites did, brothers and sisters? A bunch of them. You know what they said? Well, Moses, how we know Yahuwah sent you? I'm not shitting you. Go read the book of Joshua, chapter 80. They told Moses, how we know Yahuwah sent you? Now they've been waiting, complaining, talking about how bad their situation was, wanting redemption, wanting salvation, wanting to be free. And then Yah sent his messenger and told him it's time to leave. Let's go. You know what they told Moses? Check this shit out, brothers and sisters. They told Moses, how we know Yahuwah sent you? Just like they're doing right now. DFG, how we know? We got to test and try you. We ain't testing and trying me. I don't have no test and no trial for you to pass or fail. But on the other hand, Yahuwah does. It's called tried through the fire. You know what Yahuwah told Moses? He said, you know what, Moses, don't argue with them. He said, you know what I'm going to do? To every last one of them. Because they told Moses, how we know Yahuwah is with you, and we ain't going to no wilderness. I'm not going in anywhere that I can't be guaranteed everything's going to be great for me. That's what they said. Now, Moses is going to be like it is right here in the city. If I ain't got to give up nothing, now if I'm going to be comfortable and my children going to be comfortable and, you know, have my internet and keep my cell phone. But if it ain't going to be all that stuff, then we ain't going with you, Moses. That's pretty much what they were saying to him. I don't know what the hell they had in Egypt, but I wouldn't be surprised if they had a lot of these things. Those people know there's a lot being hidden from us in history, brothers and sisters, on what was going on in Egypt. How you think those pyramids get made and all these big old stone heads and all these different things all over this earth, but especially in Africa. Their drawings, what do they call it? Hieroglyphics. All kind of drawings showing nuclear bombs and what we would identify as spaceships. Men that had the human bodies and the head of animals. And these weren't masks on these people's head. They were just, top of their body was one animal and the bottom of their body was another animal. They were mixing DNA like they're doing now. But see, they didn't want to give up them conveniences because it meant sacrifice. It meant that they had to prove, they had to put their words into action. And that's how you know, brothers and sisters, who's real and who's not. Now, granted, there's a season. That's why David said, they shall bear fruit in their season, right? So, yeah, that was a time for us to stand and hold up and trust and wait, learn, grow. Some of us, y'all had put us in situations, I know a few of you, for the last 3 years plus, that you had pretty much isolated you. I mean, you still went to work, but you were home, you were alone. Some of you were not alone in terms of companionship, but you were alone in times of meditation and reflection. And that's sort of like basic training before you go to war. So many of us were in basic training. But if you're looking at it from a military perspective, they don't train soldiers, you know, just to train soldiers. They train soldiers to fight and when necessary, be willing and understand the commitment that's greater than yourself to die. I was saying the price of freedom is death. But not death on some crucifix, not death on some ideology, some theology, some paganism, some perversion. That's not a death, that's folly. That's like the book talked about Israel giving their children, or passing their children through the fire. You know, murdering, killing babies. Some alive, some still in the womb. No. Some of us will pull back so that we can be trained, prepared to move out to the battlefield. See, some of us can actually read Psalms 144, where David said, the strength of Yahuwah teaches my hands to war and my fingers to fight. Because we allowed ourselves to be trained. We allowed ourselves to be prepared. We learned how to sacrifice, do more with less. To focus on being a blessing, not getting blessed. Although it's reciprocal. No. And because of that, now we have been activated. See, Yah is doing something different with us than them and some of you. See, he's empowered us. He allowed us the time for reflection, like David said, meditation, and we're still meditating. But we also understood all the thinking about it, talking about it, putting up scripture about it, ain't gonna do you a speck of good if you're not gonna put all that learning into action. And the heathens are counting on you, Israel, to do just that. Hear the word, dance to the word, go to the next festival, next feast day, pray, jump, shout, run, wallow, fall down, laugh, scream. So excited they piss their pants. As long as they don't do anything. As long as they do nothing with it. Oh, I'm sorry. Support your governments. Support your church. Support your financial institutions. Support your perverted education system. That's what your tax dollars go to. All these things that are anti the Creator. See that, sister? Some of y'all out there working hard. That's what the heathens, some of them get to do. Push their babies jogging in the middle of the damn day. What time is it? 11:45. And yet our people sitting over there, when these people speak, our people stop, listen, look and listen and do. But let Yahuah's man, let any of us who love Yahuwah, say, look, y'all could do that. It's gone now. I said it. It's gone now. It, the big it, the female it, and the little it, it's gone. But when it comes down to y'all saying, I got something better for you, even than that, we won't listen. No, they'd rather just complain. Doom, despair, agony on me. Deep, dark depression. I want to express my misery. Hell, if it wasn't for no bad luck, occultic, I'd have no luck at all. That's Israel. Because you know what? Doom, despair, and agony is set aside for me. Foolishness. Sheer foolishness, sheer folly. And that's exactly what the New Testament in every religion has presented to the Israelite man and woman. Because when it told us to turn away from Yah's Torah, it told us to turn away from Yahuwah's blessings. And they knew it. They knew exactly what they were doing. And they found wicked Israelites among us to promote it, to teach it, to preach it, and to guilt you into being obedient to it. To guilt you into being obedient to it. After all, I can't believe you don't believe that Jesus. What the hell is a Jesus? Oh, you're going to see the Son of God. Israel, you are the sons and daughters of Yahuwah. Go read Jubilees chapter 2, verse 21. It says, son of Jacob, you are my chosen. I gave the Torah to you, you only. No one else, you. And when we said, oh no, I'm too ugly to have it. Oh no, I'm too tall, I'm too short, I'm too fat, too skinny, too whatever, any damn excuse. Other than to say, hallelujah, praise Yahuwah, tell me more. Tell me more. I want to know. Hallelujah, tell me more. Tell me more. What did Enoch go to the people? The book of Joshua chapter 3. Now, Enoch said, who are you that want to learn the ways of Yahuwah? See, that's what we're going to be doing tonight, brothers and sisters. So if you're looking at this message, I don't know what time you're going to look at it, but if you were to set your clock, set your clock to 6 o'clock American time, Central, you can go to this particular channel on the About page. You can dial in that number. It's a toll-free number. You could call us from WhatsApp, and no charge to you, from anywhere around this earth. And you'll be a part of learning the ways of Yahuwah tonight. How about that? How about that be a change on your Wednesday night? And you can set your clock to it, because y'all willing, we'll be there. I will be there. Many who are listening of you will be there. But many, 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 many more of you will not, because it's just not important enough. It just isn't. You know, we have some brothers, Brother Dennis Davis and Brother Lamar Franklin, two that I know. Now, there may be more of you, but I know those two call in while they're on the job. Some of you schedule your lunches and your breaks around the Tanakh study. That's how much you value knowing and learning the ways of Yahuwah. But there are so many more of our brothers and sisters, trust me. And I only call them brothers and sisters not because they're the redeemed, only because they are Israel, you know, bloodline. Because the only redeemed ones are those of us who the book calls a very small remnant. Very few of us. That's Isaiah chapter 1, verse 7 through verse 11. So this whole place would already be on fire if it were not for some of us. But all these people running around, they talk about, you know, trusting in Yahuwah, no weapon formed against them will prosper. You know, when the enemy comes in like a flood, y'all gonna lift up a standard. They know all the words. But just like Ezekiel 33 and 30 say, they ain't gonna do it now. You expect me to support Yahuwah's work? Nah. I'm saving my money for vacation. Nah. I'm saving my money, you know, because I got to go shopping. I'm saving my money, you know, for whatever. Never realizing that there ain't nothing you could do for Yahuwah that Yahuwah would not, in return, do for any of us, including you. But I don't need to tell you that. I think you already know what the word says. But like the scripture said, knowing the word and doing the word, that those things don't connect for most of our people. And that's, you know, if there was a mark of the beast, that's the mark of the beast, right there. Right there. Y'all give your hands you could use for the work, gave your mind that you could use for the work, but you won't do the work. You won't put in the effort. You want to dedicate and commit yourself to it. So if there was a mark of the beast, a mark in the hands and a mark in the head, that's it. It's called rebellion. Don't want to hear that truth. Get angry about that truth. But they'll say the righteous is bold. No, I'm bold, elder. I'm with you, elder. Elder DFG, prophet, Yah, messenger. On and on and on and on and on and on and on. But if I was counting on them, and I was a gunman, and they were the ones who were supposed to be feeding me, if I was operating, let me give you something better that you can maybe visualize. If I was the gunner, and I was using I'm on the ground, not in a helicopter, and you were feeding me the ammunition, I'm that M60, I'd be dead, man. Because I'd be looking at you saying, what the bullets at? And you'd be looking at me like saying, how is that my responsibility? You the one doing the shoot. But yet we all being protected from the shoot. We all being protected and strengthened by the word. See, to me, that's the real contradiction right there. I don't get it. Just don't get it. When we were serving the heathens, we did it. We had no problems doing it. But now we're supposed to be different. Now we're supposed to be, in alignment, right? We're supposed to be the chosen, the elite, the exceptional. But see, this is, again, the dilemma. The dilemma is that, again, as the word says, how long will you be between two opinions? Either you trust me or you trust man. And most of our people, just like our people did when Elijah the prophet challenged them that in 1 Kings chapter 18. Don't open their mouth. Don't say nothing. They just stand there and just looking. So if you're interested in, wanting to know the ways and learning the ways of Yahuwah, maybe some of you are brand new. Maybe you heard about me through a family friend. I don't know. Family member, family friend. Well, you heard right, because that's what we are. And if you're sick and tired of religion, you're sick and tired of being lied to by pastors and priests, you're sick and tired of the life that you're living, and you recognize the sign of the times that we're in, that Yah is about to destroy this place, well, consider today as your day of grace. If we just told you what we're going to be tonight or this evening. What did Joshua tell the people? He said, look, y'all can go back to the ways of these heathens if you want to. You can trust these heathens. You can trust their system, their government. He said, but you better remember, it's like putting your hands in a hornet's nest. And it's not going to end good for you. Or, and I love this part, you can do like me. Joshua told him. The man who replaced Moses. He said, you can do like me. Like the DFG family. We're going to trust Yahuwah. Joshua said, we're going to just serve Yahuwah. That's how he said it. Hallelujah. And again, look at this attire, brothers. Is that appropriate? Just look at that. It's like, goodness gracious. Might well just be naked. Come out here with your damn drawers on? What's the goddamn difference in the way they're dressing? And, the way most of our folk are dressing when they get dressed. It's coming right outside with the drawers on now. Bras it. Oh, ass out, tits out, everything out. Oh, no, you trying to shame me. That's not hard to do. What's strange is you're not ashamed yourself. But anyway, I digress. But bringing it back to where it is, brothers and sisters. You know, some of you guys heard about the situation in North Carolina a couple of days ago. And I'm going to tell you something, brothers and sisters. If there ever was, in my personal opinion, and I think my thoughts are in alignment with Yahuah's thought. He said, should I be a secret and I not reveal it to my servant, the prophets? I believe that was a false flag. I believe that young man, or whatever it was, half of a man, shell of a man, who killed a Ukrainian female on the train. I believe he was dealing with some kind of MK Ultra mind control. That's what I believe. And I believe that she may have just been a clone. May have been something that was has a body but no soul. We talk about it all the time. They're walking among us. So maybe he killed something that was already dead but yet alive. Know what I mean? And now they're going to use that to justify again military martial law with the target of you and I, my brothers and sisters, this melanation here. And the fact that you're Israel, not just melanated, because you got these wicked other melanated people. I'm talking about they're going to use this melanation as justification of surrounding the majority of our people in a open air prison, including inside your house, as long as you're going to be able to stay in there. See, some of you think you're in the safety of your home, and because you're in the suburb and you're not in the inner city, somehow or another, you're going to be spared. No, you're not. Because unless you have enough resources in there and you can create water like magic, whatever the hell that is. Well, magic is real. It's sorceress, but it's real. Sooner or later, they're going to cut off your water. Sooner or later, they're going to cut off your gas. Or better yet, those systems will stop working. So now you got sewer coming out, if you got anything coming out of the faucets. And so you're going to be forced out into the street. And that's where you're going to meet your, what was the Maccabean king? Forgot his name. He came after Alexander and those guys. Y'all know his name. That's where you're going to meet him. And that's when he's going to tell you about you should have left what Judah Maccabees done. You should have left this city. You should have been gone. You should have left with your people. Because now, we're going to torture your ass. We're going to make you, our blood sacrifice to our gods. We're going to skin some of you alive. Going to burn some of you alive. Some of you going to get raped to death. I know you don't want to hear that, but it's going to happen. Men, you. Some of you are going to be, dumped into, who knows, acid. These damn devils are wicked. Every time you think you know what they might do, you find out chopping up bodies, all kind of stuff, eating. Some of y'all going to get eaten. Some of them, maybe not you. I'm not putting that on you, but if you're trusting them and you're trusting in their system, you sitting over there like those wicked Israelites when Moses told them to leave, and they were like, well, who are you, Moses? And we ain't going nowhere. Well, yeah, now I'm talking about you. Just a warning. It's just a warning, warning you, telling you, what's coming for you. You don't have to listen. You don't have to do it. But you won't be able to say, I didn't know. Nobody ever said anything. That's why Isaiah, he was told Isaiah, what did Yahuwah tell the prophet Isaiah? He said, cry aloud, spare not, lift up your voice like a trumpet. Tell my people the transgression, the house of Israel. Tell them about how they've abandoned my Torah, therefore they have abandoned me. And now they're serving the heathens and the heathen gods. Even if they are an atheist, even if they serve no gods, it's still a rejection of me. We're going to talk about that tonight. I don't want to give up what the lesson's going to be about. Well, we're going to talk about what Yahuwah put. And, I'll stop right there because I'll get the rest of it away. If you want to know it, you'll be with us tonight, right? But that's what's going to happen. And they're going to look at him and say, you had your chance. Yahuwah is not going to come to your rescue. When Noah got in that ark, remember, brothers and sisters, that ark door shut, that was over with. Yahuwah didn't go back in there and say, Noah, sounds like some of these people out there are repenting now, Noah. No, I think some of these people actually believe now. They didn't believe at first, Noah, now. But they believe now, Noah. So, I mean, they saw the rain coming, but they figured it would stop until that rain got waist high and then chest high. And then that's our people. Always want to wait till the last minute. And then when things don't work out, want to cry wolf. You know, where they want to complain about it. You know? Then it becomes about race. Why y'all ain't serving no chocolate milk in this school? Y'all racist. You got white milk. That's Israel, right, brothers and sisters? Everything got to be about race. When you're in rebellion, you just any excuse will do. And so they had all these reasons. No, we gonna listen. You don't understand. No, I had to work. No, you know what I'm saying? I got just enough for me and my own. Well, I guess the blessings that the woman, the widow, you know what I'm saying, who had the little oil and a little meal for her and her son, and then said, we're going to eat this. Read that in the book of Kings, and then we're going to die. But Yahuwah said, no. That is not necessarily true, my daughter. He says, a man going to come. And whatever he asks of you, you give it to him. And here comes Elijah. And Elijah looks at her and says, well, give me that. She said, well, I ain't got but just a little bit for me and my son, but if you want it, Yahuwah did tell me to be a blessing if I want to be blessed. So here. He didn't say it to her like that, but I think she understood if Yahuwah is saying something, he's always going to reciprocate. So she gave it to him. And while the rest of the world was cannibalizing, eating their children, you can read about that too in 2 Kings chapter 6. I believe 2 Kings chapter 6, the women were eating their own babies. Not that woman. That woman and her son and Elijah, they were eating every day. Every time that their resources got low, y'all filled that back up for 3.5 years. Everybody else in that area was starving to death. Y'all kept bread on her table. That's why, again, Joshua said, y'all could go back, but I already know what's back there. I'm putting my trust in Yahuwah. You know what he said? I'm just going to keep serving Yahuwah. I ain't going to worry about all that. Y'all go do it. And y'all blessed her for 3.5 years. And then a step farther, when her son became terminally ill, she went to the man of Yahuwah. And she didn't have to go to Yahuwah. She didn't say, Yahuwah, what you doing? No, she went to the man of Yahuwah, Elijah. And then Elijah went to Yahuwah and said, Yahuwah, should I pray or should I be? That's what he really was saying. He prayed on her behalf. That's what he actually did. And then Yah removed that terminal illness from that boy. And you think it had nothing to do with our heart to give and serve Yah's prophet? I'm talking about the righteous prophet. I'm talking about these wicked ass two-legged she-males and he-females. I ain't talking about them. I'm talking about the righteous ones who identify from their mother's womb. Some of you, myself, the righteous remnant who will obey like a woman in the well, and many other men who served and stood with Yah's prophet, held his arms up when necessary. Y'all remember that story. And then the prophet himself, who was determined and said, no weapon formed against me going to prosper. Every tongue that's going to rise up against me, Yahuwah will judge. Because this is the reward of the righteous servant of Yahuwah. A prophet said that. Right? Isaiah said that. I know somebody said, I thought that was God using that word. No. Isaiah said that. Isaiah said, for me, the righteous servant. Go read it. And if Yahuwah does not change, that Yah is not a man that he should lie, the son of man that he should repent. If he said it, he going to perform it or able to perform it. What would make you think that he would not do it for you? Except you lacked faith in him, that you trust in men. Again, Jeremiah 17. Which is, again, another word for the government, the systems. I already printed them out to you. I'll do it again. Financial, religion, education, military, and government. And if you're going to add another one, I would say science, the medical field. If you don't know what that serpent on that pole that most hospitals, clinics have as their pagan god, you know, the serpent on the little thing they have on them. Oh, that's all about Moses. And when Moses and the people were getting eaten in the wilderness, and Yah told Moses to put the pole there and the serpent, and so that the serpents would not eat them. I thought they didn't believe in the Torah. So if that image that your hospitals have is recognizing our people in the wilderness who were being poisoned by serpents and snakes, then obviously the joke's on you, Israel, if you're allowing them to tell you the Torah is done away with, because the Torah is not, and it's hidden in plain sight. But as they were saying, you know, your brain has been washed clean of who you are. And now you, or whatever men say that you are, and for you Instagram models, whatever you say you are, and that ain't gonna get you out to hell. Not gonna get you from escape. That's not gonna help you escape that fire. Just so you know. What did Zechariah say? Eyes melting in their socket, makeup melting all off their body, melting into their body is what he said. Tongue in your mouth, all that talking. I got a message. Y'all gave me a prophet too. I'm a prophetess. All right. Go ahead on. But anyway, brothers and sisters, you know, as I started the message, I guess I'll end it where I started. Bless the man or the woman that's standing not in the seat of the sinners, nor sit with the scornful, or hang out with the wicked. I'm probably saying that not exactly right, but that's okay. In other words, cursed is the man. See, I'm glad I thought about that. Cursed is the man or the woman that does those things. They're not blessed. But on the other hand, those who meditate on Yahuah's Torah, the very thing they don't want you to meditate on day and night, you are blessed. And we know it. As I stated, he said what? You'll be like a tree planted by the river of water. You shall bear fruit in your season. Your leaf will never wither. And whatever you do, it's going to prosper. Whatever you do. Because of that Torah. That's why they want you to think that it's done away with, or think you can't keep it, or whatever dogma they're pushing out there. Oh no, you need a New Testament. See, the whole New Testament is about eliminating the Torah, brothers and sisters. That's why they say the Old Testament and the New Testament. Heard that dumb idiot Mike Malice. Some of y'all might know who he is. Oh, the New Testament is a fulfilling of the Old Testament. Dude, we've been saying that stuff. I was teaching that in my 20s. The Old Testament is, the New Testament is the Old Testament being revealed. He said that this past weekend, and you can just see, he thought he had said something. He was doing the Stephen Curry wiggle. Y'all know what I'm talking about. He thought he had said something. Somebody better go to tell that dude. That stuff you just said, dude, it's at least a generation old. And it's a bigger lie today as it was back then. How the hell is the New Testament fulfilling of the Torah, except you believing in Jesus and putting him at the same level of the Creator, Yahuwah? Which both are an abomination. But then, you know, if they're sitting there teaching and studying out of the New Testament, then we don't have to work hard to see who sent them. So, I just want to forewarn my brothers and sisters, just because they're running out there and they think they have something to say, male or female, don't mean Yahuwah sent them. And some of you over there saying things and y'all ain't told you to say nothing, told you to come to learn and keep your mouth shut. But you can't keep it shut. You want to impress everybody. But when it comes down to actually doing things that really matter, help, you know, not using the word help no more. We're running away from that word. It's about doing and not doing. When it comes down to you actually doing something, then all of a sudden, you're as quiet as a church mouse pissing on cotton, as they say. Again, that's their life. What's yours like? Well, that's okay, because I'm not showing you that to cause you to envy. I'm just telling you that these heathens have milked this earth for everything in it, for their own children and themselves. For their grandchildren, that's all they care about. You know, I could tell you about a personal story of someone, and they were all, you know, we. Then grandchildren came on the scene. It was like no more we. It was grandchildren. They was a heathen. I'll admit that much. So I'm just saying, never trust our enemies. But you can trust Yahuah's messenger. You can trust this message. It's from Yahuwah, so you can thumb it up and share it. Yeah, I'm walking. Yeah, it's warm. Yeah, I'm crying aloud. But I know one damn thing. I trust in Yahuwah. In every one of these videos, every one of these teaching sessions, every Shabbat message, and everything in between is where my commitment is. And if you're standing with me, doing with me, supporting what we're doing, then by proxy, you can say the exact same thing. So the whole thing with the North Carolina thing, I don't want you to think I forgot about that. All the big justification to put a target on our people backs. Daughters of Zion, I said this years ago, they were using these little wicked whores amongst you. I'm talking about the Cardi B's and, you know, the girl down the street, maybe your daughter, maybe your mama, maybe you, using your bodies through Instagram and OnlyFans, DMing, to make you guys appear as whores. And now when the time of trouble comes, they don't have to have a conscience about harming you. They're going to say, no, the men are a bunch of muggers and rapists and murderers, and the women are whores. And unfortunately, they didn't do that to us. Israel did that to itself. Our people did that to themselves. They just created the opportunity and we just went right on in the damn door. So, God is just. He recompensed evil for evil. Right? So now, it's coming. Now we're all walking around with a bullseye on our backs. It doesn't matter where you are on this earth. So stop all that stuff. I'm running now. I'm going to get me a passport. Passport right to the lake of fire. That's what your passport going to get you. You might want to just try trusting Yahuwah and keeping his commandments. It's a whole lot safer passage. So, what did David say in Psalm 125? Those of us who put our trust in Yahuwah, we don't have to worry about being ashamed. And he also told us, Psalms 121, wherever we put our foot at, God said, that's ours. I don't care who had it first. Yahuwah said, go take it. Hallelujah. So guess what? We're here. And we damn sure putting up a fight. And don't be surprised. For all of you out there who think we gonna lose, you betted on the wrong horse this time. Yahuwah said, I know the plan I have for those who obey my commandments. I have a plan what? To do them no harm, a plan to do them good, to give them hope in the future. Jeremiah 29:11. Don't forget that. All right, brothers and sisters. That's all I got for you. Thumb up the message. Share the message. Watch this message many times. You need to be encouraged. You need to be reminded of who's in charge. Who is in charge? Who shall I listen to? The righteous remnant prophet chosen by Yahuwah. For you, probably this one. You men of Zion, show yourself to be men of valor. Who are the men that want to learn and hear the way of Yahuwah? Let them come. To Enoch, the kings came, the princes came, the royal men came, the professional men came. Why can't you come? What's holding you back? So, stop listening to all the noise in your head, brothers. Stop listening to that woman that's in your ear who always running her mouth trying to tell you what to do. It's wartime. Will you fight? I'll go first. Shalom.